Hello everyone, welcome back to Sonic 3D Blast. We're now in Volcano Valley Zone and we're joined by the one and only Great Clement. How are you doing, good sir?
Well, I was doing pretty good, but now we're watching Sonic 3D Blast, so... Now I'm kind of so-so.
No, otherwise you've commented on a lot of games. I can't recall, is this one you've done yourself?
Yeah. It was kind of weird.
Is it really?
You know, it's possible that I saw it on your channel. I was like, I'm not watching 3D Blast. Like, I have no interest in watching anyone commentate on that game.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't watch it either, because this game just sort of drains your energy.
It does. I mean, the game. I say this every time, but whenever I play this, normally by about Spring Stadium, I'm like, fuck this game. Because it's just...
You know what's stupid is that Robotnik he's getting the flickies to get the Chaos Emeralds, but by Rusty Ruin you get all of them, so you've already like foiled his plan.
Was
So
he-
can't you just go home?
Well, his plan doesn't make sense because he wants the flickies so we can get the cast numbers, but at no point do any of the robots with flickies in them try to go to these special stages. All they do is walk back and forth over and over again. Sonic, like Tails and Knuckles, are just standing there. So why don't the flickies try and attack them or give them 50 rings so they'll be transported to a special stage?
Yeah, really, eh?
It's like this whole thing is just so stupid. I hate this. Like to me, it's not so much I hate this game. It's just so friggin' boring.
Pretty much. My big problem is this: it's very isometric, and Sonic moves a little bit too fast. I actually think this game can be compared to Sonic Labyrinth in so many ways. You know, the isometric view, the fact that you have to collect things before you can leave. And the only difference is Sonic Labyrinth gets more hate because Sonic walks in that game and he doesn't run full speed. But like, this is so similar to Sonic Labyrinth, I'm surprised it doesn't have as much hate. I don't know.
I say it's similar in a lot of ways, but I would not even put these in the same league in terms of being like terrible. Like Labyrinth is a flat out bad game, I would say. This is just kind of dull, you know.
Well, that's a great
Does Labyrinth
soundtrack.
have an amazing
Oh
soundtrack?
yeah, the soundtrack. So it's kind of like 06. It's like the soundtrack's amazing and nothing else. unless you're Johnny and you like 06 apart from Shadow, which is an idiot.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know what's up with that. I just like we just had him on the last part, and I wish he was here now so I could berate him some more. But no, Johnny, you're wrong. Just no.
Do you like the Sega Saturn version of Sonic 3D Blast soundtrack?
Yeah, I guess it's just something we bought. Like
We can't talk about this anymore.
we've mentioned it in
Can't keep bringing it up.
every person who comes on, we bring it up again. But we like both of us like the Saturn soundtrack. We just think it just doesn't compare to the Mega Drive soundtrack. You know, how about you?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
The sole exception to that, there's two tracks that, for my money, the Saturn version is vastly superior. That is, one is the special stage music, and the second is actually this track. I think the Saturn version of Volcano Valley is so epic and amazing. I freaking love like this one. I actually think this track is actually a little bit bland.
I don't think it's bland. I don't mind it. I think it's okay, but for some reason it reminds me of when my grandfather passed away.
That's a connection.
Oh, good no. Anyone who's I'm not love. Jesus Christ, you bastard. The reason why I laughed at that is not because that didn't happen to Steven. Steven linked me a few days ago. He was looking at music to this game, and like one of like the comments on this music track was that. Like this reminds me of when my grandfather. I'm not trying to make fun of anyone whose grandfather died, but me and Steven were just like, what an odd thing to say, you know, like. This, why would this music track like why would that remind you of your grandfather? Like, was that?
Their grandfather obviously died playing the drums in a volcano.
It's like it's either that or like his grandfather. His grandfather died playing this game, or he was listening to this music track when he found out. Like, but still, what a fucking random thing to say.
That'd be the most epic way to die, though, playing the
Drums in a
bongos
volcano.
Yeah.
The ways I want to go are either playing drums in a volcano or a drug-fueled sex orgy. Those are the ways I want to go.
This level introduces what some might consider a fifth flicky, which is just a red flicky that's constantly on fire. Which, just thought I'd point that out.
More flickies
I
should
hate
be on
those damn
fire.
flickies. They always have minds of their own, and they're always running off in their own directions every time you get hit. Don't you want to be saved?
Well, the green one's the worst one, because again, I have no qualms with the blue flicky, because he actively tries to find you. None of the others do, so if I was Sonic, I'd just rescue the blue one. You know, I'd be like, I'm going to stand there for 5 seconds. Those who want to be rescued, step forward.
You know what? In the end credits, or before the end credits, we actually have a little cutscene with some more text like we did at the beginning. And there, the flickies actually, you know, thank Sonic for, you know, saving the day. But that doesn't really match up with what they're doing right now. They just keep, like, trying to fly away from him. Like, fuck you.
Thank you for saving us, because we were entirely uncooperative with your efforts to save our race.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
they have
like-
ADD or something.
It's like, we thank you for doing it, but we're not going to help you succeed in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Now, Clement, when Johnny was on in the last part, he said that he kind of disliked that on every level, it's kind of like you always have these squares. What are your thoughts on every level having like this square design?
Well, I do kind of like it a little bit in that it's kind of like the classic Sonic 1 where like Green Hill had all the checkered stuff and everything, but again, just the isometric view, I don't find any of the levels really interesting to look at either way. So it's just kind of like, it's got tiled floors, whoop-de-doo, but it's something, I guess.
Well, again, we brought this up in an earlier part, but you were aware at some point they were considering making a game like this for Sonic 3. Sonic 3 was originally going to be like isometric, and that would have been a massive mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I believe it was Yuji Naka in his infinite wisdom said, we don't want to mess with the established formula for a numbered sequel, because like no.
Son of a
Fox looks-
bitch.
I'm sorry, Tails looks so weird in Sonic 3D Blast. He has this weird design, like it just looks like. You remember how the Star Fox used to look in those old Star Fox Super Nintendo manuals and stuff?
Well, wait, you mean like the ones who were clearly men in costumes?
Yeah, that's what Tails looks like to me. He looks like costume Star Fox.
Well,
It's
he is
so surreal and weird.
he is a fox who constantly does fly into the stars. So Tails is the original Star Fox. It's genius.
He looks like he got run over by a truck or something.
Well, a truck with Down syndrome, maybe.
Aw, dude. Speaking of that, though, something we haven't brought up when this game was when the first images of this game were shown. In the opening menu screen, there's a picture of like Sonic just standing there. The original design of that had the eyes kind of like at the opposite ends of his like had his pupils at the opposite ends of his eyes, and fans nicknamed that Down syndrome Sonic because he
my God.
looked incredibly derpy. But so Clement, what are your thoughts on the special stages?
On the what?
On the special stages in this game, are you a fan of them?
I am on the Saturn version. The Sega Genesis version. They're so easy. They're so like you can see the rings coming from like a mile away, and like the spikes and stuff. So it's pretty bland and forgettable. And I haven't had trouble with any of the special stages. I don't know if you guys failed them at all, but I've got all
No.
7 no problem.
Oh yeah, like I mean, I think I may have been hit a couple of times, but I don't think I've ever actually failed one. Like
Like this is
ever.
the only game I could think of where it's like you get something and it's like, okay, now you have to get 300, and you already have 300.
Yeah, that's so true.
Oh, son of a bitch.
See, this is like, again, it's just the flick. I don't get why they did this for. Like, who thought, let's make Sonic Rescue like 20 birds a level? Like, I don't understand why anyone thought this would be fun.
Like maybe someone piped up on an email and they were like, Sega, why don't you make it so that you have to kill all the robots in levels? Sonic isn't saving everybody. I feel bad for those poor animals. So they're like,
what-
we'll make a game where you have to save everybody. Therefore, Sonic always saves the day no matter what.
I like the fact that, yeah, as Steven said, we have this one flicky on fire, but we're doing nothing to try and put that flicky out. It's like, no, just let him burn. Let the motherfucker burn. Now, we're coming up to another a boss fight now, and as me and Steven pointed out, and Johnny said, we all freaking love the boss music, like Robotnik 1 rather. What about you? What about you, Command? What's your favorite? What's your favorite Robotnik theme in this game?
This one? I actually prefer Robotnik 2 a lot more.
Oh really? Okay. See, I think Robotnik 2 is actually a great piece of music, but I think this one, I love it when it kind of kicks in here. I mean, I would love Jun Tsunoi to one thing we haven't said obviously is the kind of first phase of Robotnik's theme in Sonic 4 Episode 1, the one that sounds like insane carnival music, was of course the beta version. It was in the beta version of this game as the boss theme. So if you think about it, they actually composed 3 different tracks. Look how pathetically easy this boss is! Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
As a whole, I'll say the boss themes, the boss are probably some of the weakest in the entire franchise in this game.
The isometric perspective can kind of throw you off, so they're not the funnest things to fight.
And that's the end of Volcano Valley. We want to thank the great Clement for joining us on this part. Thank you, Clement, and we will see you next time on the
Super Power Flower Hour.
We'll see you next time on the 6th level of this game, which I forgot what it's called.
Everyone did.